Hello and welcome my dear friends and students. In today's video, I am going to explain the shape of liquid drops on the solid surface. When the liquid can form the drop on the solid surface, or when the liquid that will be sprayed over that solid surface, we have to consider that conditions. So first of all, whenever some liquid is poured on solid surface, suppose this is the solid surface, and when some liquid is poured on that solid surface, then depending upon the conditions which we have to discuss here, this liquid can form the drop or that can spread over the solid surface. So which are that particular condition? At which condition liquid can form the drop and at which condition liquid is unable to form the drop? That's the things which we have to consider here. So for that, let us consider a liquid drop. We have to consider here single drop. It means we pour some liquid on smooth surface of the solid. Here we take the glass plate and on that glass plate we pour the suppose water. Then consider here the liquid as a water drop at equilibrium. It means whatever the forces acting on this single liquid drop on left and right side, that must be same. Then only that liquid drop must be in equilibrium condition. So here we are considering a single liquid drop taken on a solid surface. Now when we consider this single drop on a solid surface, that single drop form the three interfaces. That three interfaces are: first one solid liquid interface, second one solid air interface, and third one liquid and air interface. It means here we have to consider the three mediums: solid, liquid and gas medium. Now you have to consider the forces due to surface tension for these three interfaces. So for that, you have to consider here T1 be the force due to surface tension. You can actually say the surface tension due to solid liquid interface. Here I draw a figure. So in this figure, when we consider these two medium, solid and liquid, and the boundary between them, along that boundary there is a force due to surface tension, that is the T1. So I write here T1 be the force due to surface tension for solid liquid interface. Similarly, T2 is the force due to surface tension for solid and air interface. I write here A for air, S for solid. T2 be the force due to surface tension for solid air interface, and third one T3 be the force due to surface tension for liquid and air interface. Now here from the figure it is very clear that these two forces due to surface tension T1 and T2 exactly act in horizontal direction, but this is the force due to surface tension which is in inclined direction T3. That's why this is the simple figure. To explain this concept, we draw the two forces T1 and T2 because of surface tension. We draw here the third force due to surface tension T3, which makes some angle with the horizontal surface. Now as this is the component which is in inclined direction, that's why it is split up into two components, that is T3 sin theta and T3 cos theta. Now T3 sin theta act vertically upward and T3 cos theta act toward the T1 as shown in this figure. Now for the equilibrium condition, these two forces, that is, which are acting on left side and right side in horizontal direction, that must be same. They must here balance each other. Then only this liquid drop that will be at equilibrium position. So that's why from this figure we can write here T2 equal to T1 plus T3 cos theta. Now if I transfer the T1, so I write here T2 minus T1 equal to T3 cos theta, and finally that is T2 minus T1 upon T3 equal to cos theta. Now this is the required formula to explain the conditions when we have the angle of contact acute, when we have the angle of contact obtuse, and when we have the angle of contact zero, and when we have the liquid drop on the free surface of the solid. Now here we already derived cos theta equal to T2 minus T1 upon T3. Now from this formula we have to discuss the different cases when we have the angle of contact acute, when we have the angle of contact obtuse, when we have the angle of contact zero, and when there is no possibility of formation of the drop. So that's why we have to consider here 4 different cases. The first case you have to consider that if this T2 minus T1, or initially consider T2 greater than T1. If T2 greater than T1 and this T2 minus T1 is less than T3, then this cos theta is positive. If this difference is positive because T2 is greater than T1, but here the numerator is less than denominator. That's why whatever the quantity we obtain, it is positive. So for that, the angle of contact is acute. It means it is less than 90. So this is the diagram which show the angle of contact is acute, that is the less than 90. This will happen in case of the kerosene or ordinary water. Now second case, if this T2 is less than T1. Now if this T2 is less than T1, then here we have the negative answer of T2 minus T1. And again the second condition is same. If this T2 minus T1 is less than T3, then the cos theta, which is earlier positive, now it becomes negative. Here cos theta is negative. If cos theta is negative, then the angle of contact that must be greater than 90, that is the obtuse. So this will happen in case of the mercury, that is the liquid which doesn't weight the solid surface. This happen in case of the liquid which partially weight the solid. Now consider the third case, that is if T2 minus T1, if this difference is equal to T3, then T3 upon T3 1, and cos theta is 1 when angle of that angle is equal to 0. It means when this T2 minus T1 equal to T3, then only that cos theta is equal to 1 and theta equal to 0. It means angle of contact is 0. This will be possible in case of the highly pure water. And fourth case is there, if T2 minus T1 is greater than T3, or if this T2, I transfer this T1 on this side, that is T2 greater than T1 plus T3. In that case cos theta is greater than 1, which is impossible because the value of cos theta is up to 1. So this cos theta greater than 1 is not possible, it is impossible. In that case, if this condition is satisfied, when we pour the liquid on the smooth surface of solid, then this liquid will not form the drop but that liquid spread over the solid surface. Let us revise it. Now we are discussing here the different possibilities from this formula. That is cos theta equal to T2 minus T1 upon T3. First condition is if this force due to surface tension T2 is greater than T1 and the difference between them is less than T3. In that case, cos theta is positive, and whenever cos theta is positive, you will always angle of contact is acute. Now consider the second case. Now if this T2 is less than T1 and difference of T2 and T1 again less than T3, in that case now cos theta is negative. If cos theta is negative, then angle of contact is always obtuse, that is greater than 90. Now if this difference T2 minus T1 is equal to T3, then cos theta equal to 1 and angle of contact is 0. Now if this T2 minus T1 is greater than T3, in that case this cos theta is greater than 1, which is not possible, which is impossible. Only for this case, liquid is unable to form the drop and it will spread over that smooth solid surface. It means we have the three conditions for which liquid can form the drop. That is when T2 greater than T1, when cos theta is positive, angle of contact is acute, when T2 here less than T1, here T2 greater than T1, here T2 less than T1, here cos theta is positive, here cos theta is negative. Here angle of contact is acute, here angle of contact is obtuse. It means when the angle of contact is acute, when the angle of contact is obtuse, and when angle of contact is 0, in that three cases, we have the formation of liquid drop on the solid surface. Now let us consider the second point. Here we have to discuss the excess pressure across the three different types of free surfaces which we already discussed. That is planar free surface, convex free surface and concave free surface. So let us consider the first point. In case of plane liquid surface or planar liquid surface, here if we consider a point in liquid and consider the forces acting at that point due to surface tension and the force which is acting at that point because of atmosphere. Fa is the force because of atmosphere, Ft is the force due to surface tension. Now what happens in case of planar free surface of the liquid? Now the forces acting at this single point B because of the surface tension. Now these forces are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. So that's why here the force due to surface tension, that is the resultant force acting on the molecule B, that is equal to 0. Why here? Force due to surface tension acting at molecule B is 0 because the what are forces acting due to surface tension? They are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. So that's why the resultant force due to surface tension is 0. And when this force due to surface tension, resultant force due to surface tension is 0, then pressure on this both sides, pressure at A equal to pressure at B. So when pressure at A equal to pressure at B, in that case we have the planar surface, angle of contact is obviously 0. And this will be obtained in case of the pure water. This is the liquid which completely weight the solid. Keep in mind, when we have the pressure on both the side of free surface, that will be same. Now in case of plane free surface, whatever the resultant force due to surface tension acting at single point of liquid, that is 0, then pressure on both the sides. On this side there is the air, that is the atmospheric pressure, and this is the liquid. When pressure on these two sides, pressure on here air side and pressure on liquid side, that is same, then only we have the here free surface, that is the plane surface, and angle of contact is 0. Now consider the second case, that is the convex liquid surface. Now in convex liquid surface, again when we consider this single point B, and when we consider the forces acting at that point B because of the surface tension, now they are not equal in magnitude. That's why we have some resultant force acting at that molecule B because of the surface tension. And you can here clearly observe that the resultant force of these two forces because of surface tension, that will be act in vertically downward direction. And at the same time, here the force due to atmospheric pressure, that also act in downward direction, because of which here the force in liquid side, that will be greater. So here we know that pressure is directly proportional to force. So where we have the force greater? Inside the liquid. That's why pressure inside the liquid is greater than outside the liquid. This outside the liquid is called as convex side, and this liquid side is called as the other side. So in that case, keep in mind, for pressure at point B is greater than pressure at point A. In first case, the pressure at both the sides, that is same. But in case of the convex surface, why we have the pressure at B is greater than pressure at A? Because the forces due to surface tension, they are not equal in magnitude. We have the resultant force, and that resultant force act in downward direction. And again we have the one force because of atmosphere, that also act in downward direction. So that's why these two forces get added. And we have the greater pressure inside the liquid than outside. So this outside is considered as a convex side, and this side is considered as a other side. So that's why right here, in case of the convex surface, a resultant force due to surface tension, resultant force due to surface tension at molecule B is acting in vertically downward direction. And also there is one force which is acting in downward direction. That's why these are the two forces acting in same direction. That's why they add. So because of the greater force on this side, the pressure on liquid side is greater than pressure on, that is the convex side. Happen in case of the mercury. Now let us consider the third surface, that is the concave surface. Again we consider here the 2 points, A point and B point. We are considering the same two forces, that is force due to surface tension and force due to atmospheric pressure. Here in case of concave free surface, the resultant force of these two forces because of surface tension, now that act in vertically upward direction, and the force due to atmospheric pressure or force due to atmosphere, that act in downward direction. So because of here these two forces acting in opposite direction, therefore we have a subtraction of these two forces, and we have the resultant force again acting in upward direction. It means here the force acting over the free surface of liquid, this side is called as the concave side, and this side is called as the other side. So here force on concave side is greater than force on other side. So obviously here pressure on concave side that will be greater on pressure on other side. So these are the things which I write here. When we consider the concave surface, this is in case of the liquid which partially weight the solid, that is the kerosene. When we consider this is the concave surface, and when we consider the forces acting at that point B because of surface tension. Now here the resultant force of these two forces that are in such a way that it act in vertically upward direction. So that is the point I write here. In case of the concave free surface, the resultant force due to surface tension acting at molecule B is vertically upward direction, and force due to atmospheric pressure that is acting in downward direction. So therefore these two forces acting in opposite direction. So the net downward force here that will be responsible for pressure at B that is less than pressure at A. It means out of these two forces, which force that will be greater? Atmospheric pressure is greater than the here resultant force due to surface tension, because of which here the pressure at this point A that is greater than pressure at point B. So I write here pressure at B is less than pressure at A. So symbolically it is written as pressure at A that is greater than pressure at B. Pressure on concave side that is greater than pressure on other side. So these are the three different cases. In case of planar surface, what about the pressure? In case of convex surface, what about the pressure? And in case of concave surface, what about the pressure? Let us quickly revise it. In case of the plane surface, now the pressure on both the sides that is same, that is pressure at A equal to pressure at B. In case of the convex surface, here pressure on side B is greater than pressure on side A. And in third case, in case of concave surface, pressure at A greater than pressure at B. It means here this is for convex surface, pressure on other side is greater than pressure on convex side. Here in case of concave surface, pressure on concave side is greater than pressure on that is the other side. And in case of plane surface, the pressure on both the sides that will be same. So these are the three important points which we have to consider in case of cause of capillary action. So at that point we have to use this concept where in case of plane surface, what about the pressure on both sides? In case of convex surface, in case of concave surface, what about the pressure on both sides? So these are the 3 points we have to keep in mind. In case of plane surface, the pressure on both the sides same. In case of convex surface, the pressure on other side is greater than pressure on convex side. And in case of concave surface, pressure on concave surface is greater than pressure at other side. That is depend upon the direction of resultant force. If the resultant force is 0, then pressure on both the sides that is same. If the resultant force act in downward direction, that's why pressure in downward direction that is inside the liquid that is greater. And if the resultant force act in upward direction, then what about the pressure on here this side that will be greater. So these are the 3 points you have to consider here.